What's up, y'all? Thanks for stopping through. We gonna kick it a little bit today. I'm gonna try not to spend too much time, but we gonna talk about Love and Hip Hop Miami, the second part of the reunion. So not much happened. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't really a whole lot of substance. I mean, some things happened that I want to talk about, but listen, I'm just really getting a lot of bullshit out of these cast members. None of them to me really add a whole lot to the show other than Bobby, Amada. You know, she still has potential. She kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but I think she still has a lot of potential. Um, but all the rest of these fools, anyway. And just side note, real quick, if y'all hear music and singing in the background, my daughter is in her room cleaning up, and like her mother, she likes to listen to music, clean up, and sing her favorite songs. So if you hear it, just excuse it. That's my munchkin in the other room. It's a snow day today. It's snowing like shit here in the DMV, and I'm so over it right now. Anyway, so okay, Love and Hip Hop Miami, season 1, reunion part 2. See, look at her. Get out my video, girl. Close the door. So anyway, y'all, they start out with Amada and Young Hollywood, and the sidebar bitches, Steph LaCour and Veronica Vega. They sitting over there, and this right here was a whole rehash of all of that drama that happened with them. Of course, they go through the montage to refresh our memories on what happened and everything. Um, and they start talking about this incident where Amada apparently slept over at Young Hollywood's house after a studio session. It was late. He offered her, and she took him up on his offer. So Young Hollywood was trying to make it seem like, you know, she was up to some shady shit, like try to make it seem like, you know, that he smashed. And it turns out he didn't, but see, it's consistent with Young Hollywood's sleazy ass. Like, he's a sleazeball, and he just is one of those people where, okay, so hold on, we gonna come back to the sleazeball and how I feel about just him in general. But they talk about that incident with the studio and how she slept over there, and we get it straight that they did not sleep with each other. She said, you know, I was trying to like you or whatever, and that sounds about right. I mean, I was starting to maybe side eye her a little bit because I thought she took the bait, but it's believable that she didn't. But the fact that he was trying to put her out there like as if he fucked her, like, I just can't with fuck ass niggas. I can't. And he's a fuck nigga. So it comes up again about the whole colorism issue and how Steph supposedly was trying to facilitate this reconciliation between all of them or whatever, but she, I think, she was being messy, and she was minding business that wasn't her own, because it's not like they really fuck with each other. Like, I could see if they were really friends and she was coming from a place of sincerity, but I think Steph LaCour was just trying to do what she had to do to get her face on camera and to get that VH1 direct deposit. So that's that. So I don't think Steph just, she's not, none of them are friends. So for her to try to tell or facilitate this series of events for Amada to get over how she was feeling about Young Hollywood and how she was feeling about Veronica, that shit is whack. I ain't with that shit neither. So Um, and then they had this back and forth about how apparently Veronica and Steph LaCour claim they didn't know Amada's issue with Young Hollywood was about colorism. But why should it matter? Like, if you friends, why should it matter? So that, like, why? Because you didn't know. So, okay, are you saying that now that you know it was about colorism, that it's deeper than rap, and maybe you should have felt a different type of way about it, or maybe now that it's not as petty, now that you know it's about color? Like, what are you really saying? But anyway, in that whole conversation, they start talking about Amada's hair again. And this right here is where I'm going to circle back around to Young Hollywood's ignorant ass. Okay, because this is the thing. African people weren't just offloaded in the colonies, okay? We were offloaded everywhere, like all around the place. Like, so for him to be like, I never heard of Afro-Latina or Afro-Latino, what is that? But yet sit up on the stage and try to be boastful and try to be loud and obnoxious to disguise his ignorance, that's the part I don't fuck with. Because it's one thing to be loud, but it's a whole different ball of wax when you loud and you wrong. And you're a fuckboy. So, okay, cool. Even if I believe you never heard of Afro-Latina, which I don't believe that, because you're a discriminatory bitch. So I believe that you fully are aware of Afro-Latina, Afro-Latino. I think you're fully aware of that because I think you know full well what you're doing. But that's another discussion. But even if you haven't heard of that, then why not just be in a position to where you can humble yourself and be ready to soak up some knowledge from somebody who knows what they're fucking talking about? Or even if you don't want to humble yourself and be receptive to somebody who you feel isn't worthy of giving you knowledge, why don't you take it upon yourself to research the shit? Okay? Watch some documentaries. Why not just do that? You know, that's what kills me about people in general. Like, you ignorant as fuck, and you don't know you're ignorant, and you don't take the steps to enlighten yourself. But you get on a national TV show and get all in your feelings when people jump down your throat about your ignorant ass. So, Juju chimes in, and Juju pretty much said the same thing that I just mentioned about how you can be Afro-Cuban. Like, why is that a conundrum to people? You can be Afro-Cuban, okay? I mean, what the fuck? Like, people always have these stereotypical, or always have these cute little boxes arranged in their head about what this person can be, what that person can be. You know what I mean? Like, if they see a dark-skinned person who looks to be just a person who appears to them to just be black, but that person is fully bilingual, has full command of the English language, and can also speak Spanish like that, because that's their heritage and that's their culture. People look at that shit and are taken aback, like, oh my God, like, a black person speaking Spanish? Yes, the motherfuck. Why the fuck is that so hard for people to wrap their fucking heads around? Anyway, I digress. That shit pisses me off though. But anyways, if you don't know some shit, be open to learning and knowing about it. That's all I'm saying. And Young Hollywood clearly ain't in that space, because he got his bitch ass up in them little ass pants and sashayed his ass off the stage because he got upset after Juju got his ass, gathered his pieces all the way together. Okay, so moving on from that, here we go again with Veronica Vega, Steph LaCour, and Amada. So Veronica Vega, Steph LaCour, and Amada, they rehashed that whole saga that happened throughout the season, but that involved Young Hollywood. And JoJo JoJo made it a point to say to Steph, you can't tell her, talking about Amara, how you gonna tell her how to feel? And it was basically like she was trying to tell her to get over it. And that's what I was saying earlier. You can't tell nobody that. You can't, you don't have control over that. If you're a real friend, you gonna let them take as much time as they need, and you just gonna be there to coach them through the cycles of whatever they going through. Okay, and be that listening ear. Like, that's why I said none of these bitches are friends. Okay, so I just it's just a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, so that's that. Then Veronica Vega, it comes up again about her saying nigga. This bitch sat there and said she's black. That's number one. Number two, you know, if I'm not in a position in your life to offer you advice or to really have influence over how you carry yourself or the things, or to put something on your mind, then I'm not going to say I'm not going to have any input as far as that's concerned. So the thing about her saying nigga, you know, just from my vantage point as a viewer of the show, I don't think she should be saying nigga, you know, only because she's an ignorant bitch. But, you know, I personally can't control whether she says it or she doesn't say it. So it just is what it is. And for Trina, you know, to say, I understand what Trina's saying. Like, you can't tell nobody what to say or whatever. But, you know, Trina I think she could have used that as a teachable moment for Veronica and to just kind of break it down to her. But it is what it is. It's a bunch of bullshit still. So then we got Prince and Michelle Pooch and Liz. Okay, so La Princesa, with that whole I want to call it a flash mob that showed up at Michelle Pooch's party. He was on some get back messy shit because he felt some type of way about what happened at his fashion show. Okay, so that's all that there is to that. Gabby, we find out that they had some back pocket footage of La Princesa and Gabby getting all close or whatever. She's sitting on his lap kissing him and everything, and we didn't see that during the season. Okay, so I mean, that Gabby, she can go away and not come back. La Princesa, he can go away and not come back. I can see Liz coming back on some different shit with you know, maybe she still has a spot in the Love and Hip Hop, you know, Miami whole thing. Michelle Pooch, definitely she could come back. But Liz was clearly hurt by that. Okay, and Gabby right here again, Gabby tried to say that she didn't know that Prince had a girlfriend, which that's a fucking lie. But I just don't, Gabby, like, okay, so you couldn't make your shit pop with Pleasure P, so now you sitting over in Prince, like, that's some bullshit. And for Prince to say, I'm a grown man, I could do what I want as long as I'm not crossing any lines. Motherfucker, you crossed the line. Like, people know in relationships when you crossing boundaries that you shouldn't. Whether they're spoken or unspoken, ain't no way in the world that you should be having no half-naked girl sitting on your lap kissing her and you in a relationship. You crossed the line. That's all there is to it. And then for him to later come back and say he really genuinely cares about how Liz feels, that's some bullshit. I think more so he got embarrassed for him to see that playback, and for Liz to walk off and be hurt like she was. And he felt that pinch in that moment of, that was some suck ass shit I did. And he was embarrassed, and his body language just kind of said to me that he was embarrassed, because when Nina asked him about it, about his relationship with Gabby, he said, we had something in the past. And Nina was like, oh, for real? It was in the past? And he immediately knew. He was like, oh shit, you know. So right there, and then when they showed the clip, he was embarrassed. And the only reason he went after Liz is because he ain't know what else to do in the moment. So that was that. And I just, La Princesa can go away. Shay went backstage and talked to Liz. Now, if I were able to see Bucky like this more often, in this different type of way, where she ain't all turned up and going ham over shit that just is stupid, then okay, we can deal with Shay. But Shay went back and she talked to Liz, and she told Liz, you know, I did the same thing before, so don't do what I did. Go back out there and talk to him and tell him how you feel. So and Liz was genuinely upset, like the way she was crying, like taking those breaths. You know, you only do that when you really upset. Like, your folks used to whip the shit out of you, and after the whooping was over and you start to try to come down off of it a little bit, you be like, yeah, that's because you really be, and that's what Liz was doing. So she was really, really upset. And Gabby's ass, this is another reason why I just can't get with Gabby, is because Gabby said she and La Princesa will never be anything more than friends. Bitch, okay, I don't care what nobody say. Friends do not have sex, okay? Friends, to me, there's no such thing as friends with benefits, okay? Because you're not going to have sex with a person who you don't at least see yourself maybe possibly having more than a friendship with. Even if you know that that's not going to happen, if y'all can't be in a relationship, or there is no possibility for a relationship, you're not going to have sex with somebody who is just your friend. And that's just how I feel about it. I mean, y'all let me know in the comments, do you believe in friends with benefits? Do you think friends can be just friends and still have sex? Let me know how y'all feel about it, okay? Because I'm just totally, I ain't with that shit. Friends do not have sex. Okay. So, Baby Blue was kind of sort of heckling Gabby. And, you know, it is what it is. He, you know, whatever. So, that was that. And then we get to Joy and Trick Daddy, and they talking about this divorce still. And I feel like, I think they got a lot of love for each other, okay? And Trick Daddy just say ignorant shit out his mouth, okay? Whether or not they will or will not eventually actually officially get divorced, that remains to be seen. But it's clear to me that they have love for each other. They are definitely beyond the emotional attachment, I think, to each other. Like, you know how it's like a baby mother, baby father situation. Like, you go from being in a relationship with them and being all googly eyed over one another, then you have the baby and y'all try to make it work, it doesn't work, y'all move on, go y'all separate ways, and y'all might y'all got to go through that whole new parenting thing, and you go through your ups and downs, and then you finally get through that, and you get to a point where it's like, I ain't worried about that nigga, fuck him, and he like, I ain't worried about her, fuck her. But it's a mutual understanding, and you still have love for each other to the extent that you don't want nothing bad to happen to each other. Y'all got kids in common. So I don't know. I'm trying to draw an analogy that just kind of feels right to me in the moment, but it just seems like that's the extent of their relationship. They can't be together as a couple, but they still have they genuinely care about each other. But Trick Daddy is just a little bit too petty to let it go just yet. And then he said some ignorant shit out his mouth about Pleasure P fucking the shit out of Joy and rocking her world. We know Trick Daddy say ignorant shit. We remember that some time ago when he had some shit to say about black women. And okay, so now during that time, Shay and Joy end up going back and forth, okay? Because Shay said she wanted to talk directly to Joy. Joy like, I don't talk much, so fuck you, basically. And Trina ends up jumping into it. Okay, because what happened is Joy said they were going back and forth about what actually happened, and with the Pleasure P and Scrappy and all of that when Shay jumped on Joy at the cookout. And Shay was like, I wasn't with Pleasure at the time. Joy said, that's what you say, and it just was going back and forth. But then Joy was like, but you wouldn't know because you always ready to jump on somebody. That's why you're gonna end up getting your ass beat. And Trina ends up jumping in and says to Shay, that's some insecure weak bitch shit for you to be checking another bitch about your man. Okay, you doing all of this over a nigga who don't fucking want you. Okay, and Shay was trying to go back at Trina, but you notice that Shay didn't do her usual. Shay didn't get up out her seat and go trying to attack Trina. Okay, and Trina got her ass all the way together, and I'm glad Trina spoke up because, like I said, she had been flatlining. So I don't know. Bucky then gave some lame ass apology that she didn't mean. She just felt small in the moment because Trina bust her ass down. Okay, and Baby Blue told her, Shay told her, look, that's Trick Daddy, that's Trina, that's Joy. Why don't you just apologize and just get it over with? That's when she gave that fake ass apology. So fuck her. And that's what I mean by you can't expect a new beginning with old behavior. So whatever, we'll see. Maybe she might come back for the next season. Gunplay and Kiara and Miami Tip, they talk about that whole bullshit with Miami Tip and Kiara. I guess they smashed. I don't know what they did, but that was some filler shit to just make the season, I guess, interesting, to get ratings, whatever. But what I want to talk about is the rehab shit, because they brought it up, and like I said before, I'm pulling for Gunplay and Kiara. So I was glad to hear that Kiara and Gunplay are on the same page with the rehab recovery road. Kiara was cool, with the fact that Gunplay, she gave him the ultimatum, but he knew what had to be done. And it really wasn't a power move, you know what I mean, for Kiara to give him that ultimatum. She had to do what she had to do because it was either her or him in that situation. And the fact that he went ahead and did what he had to do. He went through the rehab, and he's still on the road to recovery, and he's doing his thing, he said, with the music. So that was cool. And then Gunplay said he loves Kiara. Okay, so that's cool. He got through rehab. He said he got him a facial, he got his teeth whitened, he got a B12 shot. So shout out to Gunplay, and he actually did look a lot healthier in the face. Like his skin looked better. So that's cool. That's what's up. JoJo and her parents. Okay. What this looks like to me is that Antonio the father is a hustler. That's just bottom line. The mother was a kept woman. JoJo is a product of that. And JoJo is just trying to be great and live a good life. Okay, so it is what it is. Like, JoJo didn't ask to be born into that kind of family, so now she's just taking advantage of the opportunities that she has. But Antonio shut down JoJo's boutique, he said, because it wasn't making no money, and that's the mind of a business person. Okay, if you not getting no return within 3 months, then it's gotta go. The mother, apparently Antonio sent the mother to Miami with $2 million to pay, take care of his kids, pay the rent and all of that. The mother got to Miami and went buck wild, which is believable, okay, because he was all the way in Mexico, she was all the way in the States, and she had access to the money, and it's believable that she got to Miami and she just started going crazy. So the person that he had to put a stop to that. And I kind of am seeing, why maybe he was so rigid towards her. But JoJo ends up saying she doesn't want any more business dealings with her dad. She just wants to be daddy and daughter, and that's what's up. So I hope that their relationship just kind of pans out for the better. As far as the mom, I don't know. I don't know. I whatever happens between her and Antonio is just whatever happens. I think that Antonio at some point may continue to take care of her, possibly, I don't know, but it is what it is. So anyway, she definitely looks like the type who, she looks like a kept woman. So it is what it is. Anyway, moving on. This is the last wrap up. This is the ending of the reunion where we get to Amada's performance. I'm not crazy about the song. I could probably hear that song playing in Forever 21 from the overhead speakers. Like, it's not a hit. It's okay. Nothing special about it. She looked beautiful though. The way she looked stood out to me more than the song itself, because that vibrant yellow against her chocolate skin was absolutely beautiful. So, that was the end of the show, y'all. And I think it's another part. I don't know. I think it's another part. If there is another part, then I'm going to definitely come back and review it. But y'all leave your comments. Let me know how y'all feeling about the reunion so far. What do y'all envision for season 2? Yeah, so get down in the comments and we could chop it up some more. And I got a suggestion for y'all. I'm hungry as fuck because all I had today was a smoothie so far. So I'm hungry, so I gotta hurry up and get off of here. But I wanted to suggest this to y'all. You can see that it's Boathouse, or Bolt, B-O-L-T, Boathouse Farms non-dairy plant milk protein and vanilla. I use this to make my smoothies, and it's really good. It is dairy free, lactose free, no nuts, no soy, no gluten. So I decided to, because initially I wanted just some regular almond milk, and the store I went in didn't really have the kind that I wanted. So I saw this and I went ahead and picked it up, and it was about $5 for, it's 48 ounces. See that? It's 48 ounces and it's the vanilla. So it was about $5, and it's actually really good in smoothies. So anyway, that's it, y'all. I will see y'all in the next video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. My goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the summer. So let's see if we could do that, y'all. I would really, really appreciate it if y'all could help me out with that. So anyway, y'all take care, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.